Presidential elections, USA presidential elections. That's what this is about. It never is straightforward, is it? In predicting the outcome of what is now one of the most, probably one of the most famous type of bets to place in the world. When Trump was drumming the bells, drumming for election, nobody thought that he would do it, and we were all surprised. Well, you were all surprised. All my audience, most of my audience, who did have a flutter on it, done very well out of it. So now there comes a moment in United States of America where there's a lot of PSYOP, Black Op and NLP, and they are magnificent at doing it, presenting a scene, a scenario, false flag, fake news, but much of the later parts of the false flag and the fake news, they're quite easily debunked. But the USA elections, cast your mind back to Obama, where he was a nobody, and within a very short amount of time there were deliberated speeches which spoke in a manner where he had there was a lot of clout in the speaking. There was a lot of common sense in the speeches that were made, that it attracted such a high segment of people in the world, and as a result they were all mesmerized by Obama's ability to reach the presidential elections in such a short amount of time. So the obvious is Camilla now, which is almost equally priced as Donald Trump. And the question is, who is going to win the presidential elections? Now, I've come out with quite some predictions, and I've no doubt, well, I don't doubt, I would not be surprised if those predictions eventually do come through a different year. So I want to bring you to a scenario where I'm about to predict the presidential elections outcome. Not outcome, but predicts a potential possibility where there will be a cash-in facility, and I'm going to apply what they already apply, or what Hollywood would already apply, or what their thought process would be. That is to say, the banker, or the bookmaker, or the powers that be. And how do I do it? By suggesting to the public that we're going to have some breaking news, possibly from this. At the moment, let's call it a concept. Hillary Clinton is currently 100-1. What happens if Camilla, and let's get the facts straight here, there's only one Camilla, and that is the Queen Consort, I think you call her. If I'm wrong, it's a mistake. But there's only one Camilla, and that is Charles's wife, King Charles. And so I'm not entirely sure that I swallow that analysis. I think Camilla could have chicken pox for all we know, isn't it? Well, you told me. Because if it wasn't the injection, oh, just nearly missed my bus if I didn't put my hand down to it. Thank you for stopping. My gosh, I'm actually surprised. It looks, literally, it looks 80. Maybe a little bit more. Anyway, good on him. Good luck to him. Start young. Stepping stone. So Hillary Clinton could come into the picture. Now I know it's a long shot, but this is America, and we are. We'll be damned if we don't think outside the box. Look at my hair; it's all fluffed up. I didn't put any chemicals on it today. So what I'm saying is there could be a window opportunity. We will have to think, my former boss, Iranian boss, used to say to me, Sam, you have to think of plan B, C, D, E and F in business. And I was transport manager and that stuck with me. And so what happens if Camilla's dog has an accident, and as a result Camilla can't do the elections anymore? Who knows? They could come up with anything. And all that money that people thought would go on Donald Trump, and all that money that they thought would go on Camilla, could just as easily, like Kennedy handed over his votes to the next person, as they usually do. They sold your aspirations to someone else. Like Bernie Saunders and your George Galloways and Ron Pauls and all that. So what I am saying is, if there was a major failure, a major psyop in the presidential elections, it could be that Hillary is coming back. And if Hillary comes back, it would be such a good formula, because usually it's never who you want, is it? That's what makes it a appropriate formula in the thought process of the powers that be. And let's face it, it's never elections. Never elections. It's always been selections. So what I'm saying is there could be a window opportunity. 100 to 1. You could put £10, £20, £50, depending on how you could afford it. This is only based on if you believe that we could see something like this. Certainly Hillary Clinton is at her old age now, in her pension years. Not that she needs one. So she needs a golden handshake, doesn't she? And what a more wicked way than to bring in Hillary Clinton at lastminute.com. So I'm just saying, try to give you a breakdown of it. I'm a bit tired. I should have done it in the morning after I slept over it, but I just felt like I prepared with my hairstyle this time. And so a little 20 quid, little anything can happen, you know. We could have COVID again, but explained in a better way than Boris Johnson said it. More convincing way than Boris Johnson said it, like Keir Starmer, innit? So he might come out and say, yeah, we've got chickenpox pandemic, because we're certainly hearing of a pandemic in the background now. It's dribbling through. and we keep hearing of lockdowns. So who knows? All right, I've done 10 minutes on this. I think if there is any other tip, I was just going to say, see if you could complement it with another tip, but on special bets, I don't think they allow you to do doubling them up. Just before the elections start, you might get away with it. So you might get away with, say for example, if I gave you some, I will be doing some compilation of bets coming up towards the election. Pay attention to those, because I'm about to teach I'm about to advocate to the gamblers out there, or the flutter lovers, the ones who don't like to call themselves gamblers, but call themselves traders and wear ties that are worth like untold money, because they don't have a reputation, those traders, but they're still gambling. So let's loosen it up a little bit, shall we? Yeah. I researched the gambling sector from the angle of the tips service providers, the sports tips service providers, the ones that sell you tips. So I studied them. That is where I come into it, because I wanted to know how they function. And I'm from a background where I've seen stockbrokers and financial advisors train some of your finest, trained by the world's finest trained trainers, and I've witnessed all of that at my former job in Hewlett Packard. So I've kind of captured bits and bobs of that, and I'm trying to put them in a way where it's complemented with the fact that I'm a British Lebanese, so I have a event awareness in the background of the geopolitical world. I combine all these formulas, including the PSYOPs and the Black Ops, coming from several years where I've just seen how these governments are now functioning. I kind of put it all together and present them in a podcast. Check my YouTube, new one down below. I've just sent out a tweet from it, a message from it. It's my new YouTube, that is, by the way. Subscribe to it. It's called Lebanese Tips. One word. Punch that up on YouTube. Subscribe, turn your notifications on. The money to make is when I start upping the ante on podcasts and shorts, coming up to the election. Yeah, I'll be doing sports bets, which include all sectors of sports, football, you name it. I'll be going through them, and 99% of them I wouldn't even know any of the games or even how to play them. But it's the formulas that I use which allow me to generate these selections, and I out them out to the public so that you can make profit from. Now, in the meantime, with horse racing, remember, I only tip to place. So your job when you get a selection is you find the best bookmaker that gives you more places. So if one gives 3 places or 4 places, another one gives 5 or 6 places, opt for the one that gives 5 or 6 places and choose the 5th or the 6th place price. If you don't like the price, you can do like stockbrokers do, and they wait and monitor that price until it fluctuates, or leave the price out. Sometimes before the off or before they start, the prices drift, and they do fluctuate throughout the course of the day. Right, so presidential elections, there's a potential cash-in facility for if Donald Trump has chicken pox, or Camilla, decides to hand over the votes to Donald Trump. You don't know what's going to happen. So, on that note, I bid you a good day. Spread the word out.